Good morning and welcome to Youth Mission Sunday. This summer, 11 of our youth and 4 leaders, including myself, are headed to Nashville, Tennessee to see what God has in store for us and to serve the community there. We hope that this message is a blessing to you.
The reading for today is from John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17. Jesus washes his disciples' feet. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had to put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured the water into the basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." Then Lord, Simon Peter replied, "Not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean. And you are clean. Then not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you shall wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them."
Are we rolling? Okay, we're done. Thank you. Okay. Dylan, we first learned about, it started showing symptoms around the age of 5. At first, the robot hands, we thought it was just a phase. You know, he was so cute. It was a toy. He was so creative. And then I learned about distance. Distance stands for distorted intimacy, separation, tension near close entities. We immediately took him to the Proximity Research Institute, and that's when we realized there was a much bigger problem, and the hands were here to stay. I just really worry about this preventing Dylan from having a connection, a relationship with others.
I don't really think I have a problem.
Now, getting close to people, well, it's not always easy. It means being vulnerable. When you take that chance, you open the door to something beautiful. Empathy, trust, belonging.
I've known Dylan since the 5th grade.
I met him a few years ago at youth group.
At first, I thought it was a joke.
Hanging out with Dylan is difficult. I mean, everybody is always staring.
Yeah, I mean, I like the guy, but it's kind of hard to be his friend sometimes.
It makes you wonder, is something wrong with me? Why won't he get close to us? He just doesn't seem to want to connect.
I remember back in tryouts when Dylan showed up. I thought the whole distance thing was funny, but it was not funny. We got paired together one time, and the match was a disaster. His racket was stuck on the top of the fence. The whole match was delayed by an hour. Distance makes everything impossible. Dylan, what are you doing? Pick up your racket.
In the end, it's not the grand achievements or the trophies we hold that we remember. It's the conversations on the porch after a long day, the hand that reached out when we were falling, the hug you needed to keep going. Those are the moments that matter.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I've known Dylan for a while now. We met in school. And I'll say this, he's a great guy, you know, but the hand thing, it's weird. It's really weird. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I felt bad for him because I knew that nobody else would go with him. So I said yes.
Watch me dance, dance the night away. My heart could be burning, but you won't see it on my face. Watch me dance, dance the night away. I'll still keep the party running, not one hair out of place. When my heart breaks, when my world shakes, I don't play safe. Don't you know about me? I could dance, I could dance, I could dance, dance the night.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and dance with me. We were victims of the night.
So don't be afraid to get close. Life's too short to stand at arm's length. Because the truth is, the closer we get to others, the closer we get to what it really means to be alive.
Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is my 4th mission trip. Ever since I was little, I have been involved with sports. Soccer, basketball, swimming, tennis, volleyball, and even Taekwondo. I started Taekwondo around 6 and did it for about 5 years. I was on 2 of the top teams for about 4 of those years. So naturally, being a part of these teams requires a time commitment and being in training 4 days a week. When I would go to training, my parents would usually drop me off in front of the building and go park. Sometime around 10 years old, my mom dropped me off like usual and left to run an errand during warm-ups, but today would be different. While I was inside warming up, I started to hyperventilate and have a meltdown at the uncomfortable and irrational thought that my mom was going to leave me forever and I would never see her again. I had never experienced something like that before. I had never had such an overwhelming sense of fear and urgency all at once. And what struck me most in that moment was that I didn't like that I had to rely on my mom to come pick me up, to take me home. Thus began the roadblock of self-reliance and trying to find security by controlling the environment. This idea of self-reliance contaminated all aspects of my life, athletically, socially, mentally, academically, and even spiritually. This is the first part that keeps me at an arm's distance away from God. The fear of being helpless and lost in uncontrollable situations that require me to rely on somebody else to light the way out. I know the only one who could give me the reliability and guidance that I need is God. Part of the solution is embracing being in an uncertain environment. Fortunately or unfortunately, I have never been put in a circumstance that I can't manipulate in one way or another. So this sheltered existence has contributed to a growing fear of lack of certainty and trying to plan the risk out of life. This is relevant for me now as I figure out where I will go to college. If there's one thing I can guarantee myself about college is that it's in the real world, which is the farthest from being controllable. Another aspect of my 10-year-old revelation was this moment would jumpstart my conscientious need to always present myself with no vulnerability, no weakness, and no flaws, so others could always see me as strong and highly competent. Along with the crying and panicking externally about my sudden and unreasonable fear, I was also worried the entire time internally that people would perceive me differently based on this new side they were now all seeing of me. Naturally, this mindset has increased over time and has taken a toll on how I see myself and how I want God to see me. Now, a little bit about me is that I have incredibly high standards about everything that I do. I want to be a flawless human who achieves great things and proves to others that I don't make any mistakes and am unwaveringly dependable. Not only has this impacted me introspectively, but it has even impacted my view on serving within my community. Now, this might sound a little wacky, but I even have a perception that there's a correct way to serve. Like, let's be for real here, guys. There is a legitimate idea in my brain that in order to serve correctly, I have to make the right impact. This stems from a fear of being unqualified and ineffective as others rely on my consistency to serve. This further raises my standard of being flawless and qualified. Now, if I think this standard I have set for myself is within my reach, I must be insane to think I can reach God's standard, because I never will. Don't get me wrong, it's good to want to strive to be the best you can, but there's a difference between striving and being at peace with presenting myself, unfinished, imperfect, and as I am. This is something that I struggle with immensely, and it would require a lot of change to fix. Not only would it help me in my daily life, but it would also improve my relationship with God. So to help me shorten the distances, I would have to be able to accept the challenge of no longer relying on myself, but on Him, and being able to recognize the unreachable standard of God and presenting myself unfinished. Additionally, this would mean getting closer with others through Jesus and serving the way He did, even when I feel unqualified. This would strengthen my confidence and relationships within my community. And although I wish I had an answer on how to find freedom from this overwhelming mindset, I don't. I don't know what this moment will look like or how I will get there. Honestly, I'm not sure I'm ready to make this change and fully reveal this vulnerability to God yet. And that's okay, because I know that through understanding God's love, guidance, and reassurance through small moments, I will have clarity when that occasion arrives. For me, this could be pointing out times where I see God being fully present with me throughout the day, or highlighting and making small notes while reading scripture that emphasize God's character in ways that speak to me in that moment. Finding ways that can help you learn about who He is and why He is the one that can help. So, I want to extend the question to you. What keeps you at an arm's distance away from God, and would you take the steps to shorten it?
So I want to take you back to a year most of us probably don't want to revisit. It is 2020. Our 30-mile mission that year was done all over the computer. If you don't know what 30-mile mission is, it is a multi-day service event where the youth live here at the church. They cook, clean together, have nightly worship, morning devos, and then they serve the community during the day. On Sunday, the whole congregation serves, and then we share and we celebrate all the really cool things that God did through all of us on that weekend. So the youth devos for 2020 were done all over the computer. All the projects were outside so that we could be distanced, and the Sunday barbecue was scrapped. So instead, we just did a debrief out in this field in a circle of chairs, all spaced out. So when 2021 rolled around, and some of the restrictions had been lifted to at least some extent, I decided to go with the theme, closer. We could finally serve shoulder to shoulder, we could go to some nonprofits again, and we were gonna have a block party. It was actually our first block party, and we were inviting the whole neighborhood. So of course, I had matching t-shirts made for our students with the theme word, closer. Here's a picture of one now. I thought this is a great theme about getting closer to God, closer to each other, closer to the community, and how each of these things helps us get closer to the other in this like cyclical situation. So one of our projects involved painting. And of course, some of the youth decided to edit their t-shirts by painting over the C. So y'all know what closer spells when you cover up the C, right? Yeah, it says loser. Gotta love youth ministry. I want you to hold that picture in your mind because we're going to circle back to that a little bit later. But first, let's revisit a section of the reading today to look at what Jesus is saying about following Him closer. Our reading for today is incredibly familiar, especially to our students who go on the mission trips, because we read it every single time Thursday night during the foot washing on each of our trips. This is what it says. When He had finished washing their feet, He put on His clothes and returned to His place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" He asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your teacher and Lord, have washed your feet, you should wash one another's feet. I have set an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." I want to highlight that line, "You call me teacher and Lord." In other words, y'all have agreed as my disciples that these are in fact accurate titles for me. If He is the teacher, they are the students. If He is the teacher, we are the students. So this means there are things that they need to learn from Him. We come to Jesus unqualified. We aren't born just knowing how to live like Him in the world. We are unfinished and in need of His wisdom and His guidance. It means we're going to mess up, and some lessons we might have to learn multiple times. So we've got the teacher title down, and most of us have at least some experience with that in everyday life. But then there's the Lord part. This one isn't one we use much anymore. The Greek word for this is kairos, which means master, lord, or owner, often denoting someone with authority or power. So in the context of the New Testament, when referring to Jesus as kairos, it acknowledges his divine authority and lordship. He is way up here and we are down here, to the point where we are subordinate to him. He is not just a teacher, there's lots of those, but he has divine authority over them and over us. No one is higher than he is, and none of us will ever hold that place. So when their teacher and Lord models serving, when their teacher and Lord says, I want you to do the same thing, how can they say no? How can we say no? Following Jesus closely requires us to let go of trying to control our lives and our futures and to embrace his way of doing things. Also, Jesus isn't asking them to do anything that he hasn't already done himself. Jesus went further to bring us closer. So if we want to get closer to Jesus, we need to go further. He comes to us first. He serves us first. He takes the lowest job, washing feet, and goes further in modeling what real service looks like. Going further to bring us closer will ultimately lead him to die on a cross. We see him at his most vulnerable in this moment. He makes himself weak to bring us back to God. Now, if we want to get closer to Jesus, then we need to go further. Further in who we serve. Want to get closer to Jesus? Love unconditionally. Even the people who are your enemies. Yeah, don't forget, Judas was at that whole foot washing thing. Jesus' friend who'd been plotting against him, and Jesus knows it, and he washes his feet anyway. Want to get closer to Jesus? Go further in how you serve. Humble yourself. Do what needs to be done, regardless of your title or rank. Further in our commitment to follow Christ's example. The more we embody his way of living, the closer we draw to his presence and purpose for our lives. Here's the thing though, getting closer to Jesus is going to turn us into losers. The closer we get to him, the more we're also going to lose. We're going to lose our pride and focusing on how we look. We're going to lose our self-reliance and the need to control things. We're going to lose our old priorities, which don't fit with what he says matters. Getting closer creates losers, but in the best of ways.
Hi, my name's Riley Thorpe, and this mission trip to Nashville, Tennessee is going to be my 4th mission trip. These trips have given me the chance to go further in following Jesus' example and get closer to him and my faith community. And they have taught me a lot. Number 1, fear fuels faith when we face it with God. I've always been scared of change in the unknown. One thing I worried about on my first mission trip was that I would be on my own with a group of students I barely knew. As a kid, I always relied on my parents for most things, and the fact that I would be away from them for more than a week in a completely different state really freaked me out. I would always worry about the what ifs. What if the car doesn't work? What if I couldn't sleep? What if everything went wrong? I was so consumed with worrying about things that probably wouldn't happen that I made myself even more stressed and scared. It felt like I was walking into the unknown, blind. This was a totally new environment and something that I would never have gotten to experience if I didn't go on the trip. Getting closer to Jesus means embracing the unknown. Our faith can't grow if we don't face hard things and learn that he's got us no matter what. Sometimes God is calling you to serve in new ways. This may include doing something that is challenging and scary to you because you don't know how the outcome will go. However, if we really want to get closer to Jesus, we have to put ourselves in uncomfortable situations where we actually need his help. Number 2, challenges aren't a maybe, they're a guarantee. On mission trips, you're going to face lots of things, including roaches, budget car rental, rude youth work staff, Zach, lack of food and or bad food, hospital visits. The list of things that could go wrong and will go wrong are endless. Let's be honest, you're not going to face the same challenges that we have on mission trips, but following Jesus closely and serving others will come with our own obstacles to face. Jesus may not fix the issues, but he is always there guiding you. The challenges of these trips have helped me become more thankful for what I have and to develop more compassion for others and what they are going through. They have also helped me learn to rely on God more. Number 3, we're all in this together. These trips literally force us to go further, but the real challenge can be coming home and figuring out what going further looks like here. On the trip, I know there are other people connected to me, and we're doing this together. We work together, pray for each other. We're all going through this experience at the same time. Once we get home, we have to maintain that connection, but it's hard because you have limited time to see each other. When you get home from the trip, people have different priorities than maintaining those connections, and so you end up growing apart. In the reading where Jesus washes the disciples' feet, he isn't talking to one person, but multiple people in a community. He knows we need each other. We're all working towards the same goal, to follow Jesus closer, and that will involve learning from each other. Each of us is unqualified in some way, but we each also have gifts that can help support others' weaknesses. Every single person has a quality they add to make the group better, and the same is true for all of you at Good Shepherd. In moments where you may be uncertain and vulnerable, trust that God's guidance will change your fears into faith, your weaknesses into strength, and your surrender into true freedom. Embrace the journey of surrender, and let God lead you closer to who you're meant to be. Each step closer to Him is a step towards discovering your true purpose, knowing that His love and grace are what make you whole.